Another thing I want to mention that I'm here to advocate for men that have a difficult time wanting to go to church in modern day era in 2024. Why a lot of men don't want to go to church. This is the issue that I have with a lot of women. Not every woman, but there's a lot of women that really need to hear this message. A lot of women that's not going to really like what I'm about to say, and you just won't like what I have to say. One of the million-dollar questions that a lot of women would tend to ask a man: do you have a problem with women in ministry? This question was asked to me. I don't have a problem with women in ministry. I don't have a problem with women having a leadership role in ministry. The only time I actually have a problem with women that's in ministry or women that has a leadership role or any woman that's of authority is when you make the services about women, when you have services that cater to women. I remember not too long ago I went to I won't say it was a conference, but it was a special service, and he had all the people that receive awards. They asked them to introduce themselves and to actually briefly describe their ministry, what kind of ministry that they're in. And it was mostly women that was up there receiving their awards, and they was describing what kind of ministry that they was in. And one thing that all these women had in common was that their ministry catered towards women, either women or catered towards women and children. Their ministry has something to do with empowering women and helping children as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that women should help other women, but I also believe that based off the scriptures, that Jesus is family oriented. And this is something that the church tends to overlook. Family oriented consists of God, man, woman, and children. God, man, woman, and children. It goes in that order. And the reason why a lot of men have a difficult time going to church, because a lot of men that's in churches, yes, there are more women than men in churches. And it seems like that the men are just on the sidelines looking in. It just seems like the men are just there. And I have conversations with other men regarding this topic, that men don't feel like they have a place in churches, because a lot of women that are pastors, a lot of women that have leadership roles in churches, the services, it appears that the women in services, that they benefit more from the services than men. Yes, I understand that you know what I'm saying, church services is all about serving Jesus Christ, and it's supposed to be that way. It's all about serving Jesus Christ. It's about coming into church, lifting up the name of the Lord, that Jesus Christ is supposed to be the prime focus of why you're there. I understand that it's supposed to be that way, but from a man's perspective, sometimes it's difficult to see that, where you have women that take over the service, and it seems like they benefit from it, and their level of influence tends to overshadow anything that looks like it's Jesus related, because it's just complicated. It's complicated, you know, for men to want to have a desire to remain in church services. And then you have a lot of women that have leadership roles. They're very controlling. And this was told to me by another woman, that a lot of men, they have a difficult time wanting to remain in church, and having a difficult time to have a desire to maintain just overall just accepting, um, respecting a woman of authority, because the fact that a lot of women, they're very controlling. A lot of women, they're very controlling, and most men, they're not going to tolerate that. They're not going to tolerate a woman controlling them. A lot of women that has authority, whether they're a police officer or correction officer, or any woman that has some level of authority, a lot of times, not every woman, but most women, when they have the ability to control a man, it's like they get their rocks off by demonstrating that level of authority and telling a man what to do. And I also believe that this is the case because for since the beginning of time, the Lord Jesus Christ he created Adam first. He created man, the male species, to dominate. And so I honestly believe that anything that the Lord Jesus Christ does, Satan has a desire to do everything backwards as an insult and a slap in the face with Jesus Christ. So now you have movies where you got women have the leading role, action-packed movies where women have the leading role. Society has twisted things around where women is the dominant force, and that mindset has creeped in the church. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. If a man has an issue with women of authority, then most women gonna look at that man as though he is insecure, he has mommy issues, and that is so far from the truth. Because it's far from the truth for me. Because I'm calling it the way I see it. Some men have a problem with women that are pastors. Me personally, I don't necessarily have a problem with a woman being a pastor. I have a problem with a woman that tries to dominate a man that's a pastor. And it was one particular ministry that I left that was in Williamsburg, New Jersey. You're not going to dominate me. And you're not going to, at the end of the day, I'm still a man at the end of the day. And you're not going to use your authority as a pastor to dominate me. That's why I left that ministry. So I'm here to advocate for men out there that at one point in your life, you had a desire to go to church and you choose not to go to church because of this particular issue here. I'm here to advocate for those men because there's a lot of men that I spoke with that they no longer go to church because they are beyond sick and tired of women controlling the flow of churches. They control the flow of the services, and they don't allow a man to be a man in churches, and it's difficult for a man to want to stay there. Most men don't have the desire to go back and forth with a woman arguing like that, just overall just arguing period when it comes to church related matters. And you trying to control and dominate this man. No, he, what I'm saying, he wants to avoid, most men tend to want to avoid this kind of headache. So I'm just here to advocate for men, and excuse my stuttering because there's so much of my mind relating to this topic that I'm really just pacing myself to express myself. Just it's difficult. My thing is I am all about families. I would not ever support the feminist movement at all. I'm kingdom minded. I'm all about families, Jesus, man, woman, and children. It needs to be like that. I'm all about accommodating families. All those women that advertise their ministry, neither one of them included a man. Neither one of them included any type of man to be a part of their vision of wanting to help someone. They all promoted empowering women and helping children. No one said nothing about helping a man. So you mean to tell me that that women in ministry, they don't have no desire to empower men as well? You mean to tell me that you just have a ministry just to empower women and to help children, and you overlook men? Period. And I'm like, am I the only one that's seeing this? This don't make no sense here. This is why one of many reasons why I created Victorious for Life podcast, because this podcast is to empower family structure. I am not here to empower women only. I am here to empower men, women, and children, the family structure. And I'm here to speak about that because a lot of people, a lot of women just only want to empower women only and help children. You don't even speak about empowering men, especially black men, the stuff that we go through. A lot of people ask, well, where the men are at. The men are not stepping up. And I do believe that men do need to step up, but I do believe that one of the biggest reasons why a lot of men a lot of men don't have a desire to step up. It's because of this particular issue right here. Is that a lot of men, they are tired of experiencing a battle of the sexes, tired of going through this unnecessary, this struggle, this tug of war between men and women, especially black men and black women in churches. It is beyond aggravating. Most men, they don't want to put up with this. They don't want to tolerate this unnecessary this garbage. It's unnecessary where they can focus on doing other things. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm speaking facts why a lot of men refuse to step up. Because a lot of women don't allow a man to be a man. You try to dominate him, you try to like strip his masculinity away from him by dominating him. And any man with a right frame of mind, he's not going to tolerate that. Any man's man is not going to tolerate that. I know I'm not going to tolerate that. I have a difficult time, being submissive or humbling myself to any woman of authority. If you feel that you're going to dominate me as a man, that's not going to happen. I refuse to let that happen. So again, I'm here to advocate for other men out there, to give them encouragement that you're not by yourself. I understand your thoughts and concerns regarding this matter of the reason why most men refuse to go to church.